Okay, welcome to this module where I am going to talk to you about a couple things. I'm going to talk to you about the fear of not knowing, how the fear of not knowing is potentially blocking us from accessing the depth of possibilities. And those two things essentially live in the same place. It's just how we are meeting it, the lens through which we're looking at it. So I'm going to talk to you about that and also weave in a little bit around fear of inadequacy. And so, what I want to say is that sometimes this is challenging to figure out how to weave everything I want to say together in a really cohesive thread for you. So bear with me here. But as a society, we've become really conditioned to want to know everything. Like knowledge is power. And in some ways, yes, like know thyself. Know thyself. It is absolutely powerful to know yourself, 100%. But when we get addicted to needing to know everything because that's giving us value, that's giving us power, that's keeping us safe to know everything, we are really missing out on the depth of possibilities that are available to us when we're not living in that vibrational frequency of fear. The fear, like I'm afraid, so I need to know. That's very different than being a curious seeker in this lifetime, being curious about whatever it is that is wanting to be explored, wanting to go to the depths of things so you understand things more. Being curious is very different than being, like a knowledge hunter from fear. And a lot of this happens because because the mind wants to know, we're trying to satiate an over anxious mind with information to make it feel safe. But the mind is not the authority. The mind is not the thing that's going to bring us safety. The soma is the body, the wisdom that lives within the body, the consciousness of the body, connecting to life, connecting to the divine, connecting to earth. That's what's going to bring us safety. And when we're seeking safety from the mental construct and we're trying to satiate the anxiety with more information to then make this feel safe, to then go and do the thing, or to then relax, or to then make a decision, we're moving in a way that we're never going to get to the end of it. Like we're never going to give the mind enough because it's always going to come up with something else, or society's going to present it with something else to be afraid of. And so we really want to start locating that safety within so that we can lean into the depths of possibility that are available to us versus trying to like put out this fire, this fear of not knowing. I'm not saying that you'll never get to a place in life. I mean, people can for sure, but I'm not there yet where I'm just like unafraid of everything. And I just trust so deeply that no fear comes up. I'm not there yet, but I absolutely can tell when I'm in that frequency and I work to shift it. Because how many times I've been gifted a miracle in that fear of not, like in the not knowing, in the unknowable. So many gifts have come out of that for me that I know that it's safe to lean into that depth of possibility versus being afraid all the time. And so I'm going to weave in a little bit of the human design and the I Ching. If you were familiar with it, this is this fear that we can really have around going to the depths, wanting to know everything, is called the well in the I Ching, and it's really like its gift is resourcefulness, knowing that like the resources that we need will be brought through us and gifted to us when we need them. And we don't need to go and like hoard all those resources before we need them because we're searching for something that's unnecessary. We're trying to go down into this bottomless pit, this well that is infinite. And we want to like get out everything that we might need, get all the knowledge, know all the different ways that something could like unfold, so that we just have that information. For what reason? To satiate the mind, right? And so we're we're not trusting the resourceful nature of ourselves and of life. And so we're trying to hoard that. And so the shadow, like the shadow of this gate, is fear of inadequacy, that we're not adequate, that we're not enough. And this can come from a multitude of things. This can come from childhood traumas, that we're not enough. We weren't enough to be loved in the way we needed to. Our needs weren't met because we weren't worthy. We didn't get chosen because we weren't special enough. We didn't, maybe we saw somebody else get praised for something as a child and we didn't because they had something we didn't have. That's one way that inadequacy can come through. I mean, that's a few iterations of like a childhood trauma, but the other way that inadequacy can come through is that we don't feel as though we are, that we forget that we are loved into existence in each and every moment by the universe, by God, whatever language you want to put to it, by consciousness. And when we become disconnected from ourselves, we forget and we think we aren't being loved in each moment and we feel inadequate. And then we start searching and searching for things to fill that void, the knowledge, the wisdom, the information to protect ourselves and keep us safe. And so much lives here. Like so much resourcefulness can live here when we shift the perspective of how we're looking at this bottomless pit as well. So we can look down it and be afraid of everything down there, or want to hoard the information to get it all so that we can satiate the mind and make it feel safe to then move in courageous ways. Or we can look down it and say, wow, there is an endless well of possibilities, of resources, of information, of support, of care, of nourishment that can arise from this bottomless pit, this well. It can arise to me when I need it. And when I trust that it will arise, that it'll come for me when I need it, that it'll be here, come through me when I need it, then I can lean into the depths of possibilities that are around me. And so I encourage you to explore your relationship with the concept of inadequacy. And where does that show up for you in your life? Where are areas of your life that maybe you're feeling inadequate? And how do you try to mitigate that for yourself? Not like we want to heal it. We want to heal it. We want to heal the root of it. But if we're trying to like put band-aids on it with information and gathering all this like conceptual things to appease the mind, we're going to be searching for a long time. So how is the fear of inadequacy causing you to hunt and be afraid of, like, to hunt for knowledge? Because you become valuable, you become less inadequate by having information. So that's one way it can show up. And then also, where are you not trusting life? Where are you not trusting the resourceful nature of you and your connection to life? That everything that you've needed will come forward when you need it. So I think this will be a short module because I really just want you to start playing with this concept of like, how do I look at this well of infinite possibilities? Am I afraid of it? Or am I leaning more into trust? And it's okay to oscillate between the two, but just becoming clear about where you are at. Because everything's uncertain. Everything's uncertain. I mean, there's things that are more guaranteed than others. The sun will rise tomorrow. One hopes, but it's not guaranteed. And so where are we like worrying about all of these possibilities and, leaning into them from fear because we're not trusting that we will be supported and that we are resourceful enough, that you are resourceful enough to meet each moment with whatever it needs, because somehow, some way, you will be resourced in that moment to move through whatever it is that you need to move through. And I think that this stops us from moving forward in courageous ways because we can't see every step of the way. We don't know how it's all going to unfold. And because we can't see how it's going to unfold, we don't move. And so you stay where you are. And you're not in this course, you're not in my world because you want to stay where you are if it's not working. So how can we really start to shift our relationship with the unknown, even though that is scary and that takes courage, to lean into this idea that it could actually work out for us? And even when I can't see how it's working out right now, I need to trust that it still is. And that requires courage. I mean, everything requires courage. Showing up for this life in the way that you want to live it, that's calling you up, that's calling you forward, requires courage. And so I really want you to just start thinking this week about the fear of not knowing. How is it holding you up, holding you back? How can you lean into possibility? How can you change the way that you're looking at this bottomless well? And really the mastery here we want to start to cultivate is the wisdom to explore like depths of knowledge of things that we know, we need to know, to create a strong foundation to move from when we need the knowledge, but not as like the thing that's bringing us safety. We're not just like sitting, ruminating over all the things that could happen, trying to map out every single possible iteration before we do something. That's not what getting knowledge to serve us is. We need knowledge when we like don't know something and we need it to learn how to move forward. That's different. Go and get the knowledge. Absolutely. I'm a perpetual student. I think it's super powerful to continually learn and expand your mind, but only so that it's opening you up to more possibility, not because you're just trying to get the information to satiate the fear. You know, the lower expression here would be to be paralyzed in inadequacy, to be afraid to try something new or go beyond your comfort zone because you don't know something, and because you don't know, therefore you can't do. You learn through doing. So this week, really shifting the relationship that you have between shifting the relationship you have with the fear of the unknown, and spending time even thinking about some times that things have turned out in different ways for you that you weren't expecting, to visualize this well and to see some really beautiful things like that could come out of it. Just visuals or stories or ideas that could come out of it that aren't necessarily scary. So I'm going to drop a mantra also into the practice this week for you to potentially just read out loud or to record for yourself. But I choose to know and believe that deep within me lies an unlimited and never-ending resource of information that will reveal itself when needed. The deeper I trust my connection with Source and my inner knowing, the easier it is to release judgment and allow the answers and guidance to flow to me and through me. When you stop trying to find the answer so you're not afraid, you allow yourself to receive the answers. You become resourceful for yourself. You get resourced through your connection to life and spirit and opening yourself up to it. So I think that's everything I want to say this week. It's a short one. But let's shift. There's nothing to be afraid of in the unknown because so much possibility lies there for you.